What seemingly has been a pure straight line up from a $1 million market cap all the way, or excuse me, a $10 million market cap all the way up to a $100 million market cap. Pythia, a seemingly random DeSci altcoin, meme coin, whatever you want to call it, has been on a ripper rally. And yesterday I found two more that are exactly the same as Pythia, which are sitting around $1 to $2 million market caps right now. They are actually made by the same people who made Pythia on a launchpad of sorts. Today we're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about decentralized science, of course, and we're going to go through the current state of the market. Let's switch this to a log chart so we can stay constant. This has been absolutely wild to see. I wish I had held on to the initial bag that I had when we first talked about it, when Pythia first launched. Let me scroll all the way back so you guys can see it. It was first brought to our attention back here when it, like day 3 of it launching, but I never ended up buying any. We talked about it on the live stream. I think maybe we made a little bit of money on it. I honestly don't remember. I have a little bit of a chart drawn here from the first breakout, and then the market crashed and it died until the last week or so, as everything has been ripping in a straight line up. This is very interesting, and let's just get right into it. For anyone who's watching the recording, there are two others in the ecosystem. One is Elvis Ape, and the other is Pigeon, PJN, Pigeon Fly. They both are extremely small market caps right now. If we go look, I put them on a watch list that I have out here. They're not IP tokens, but they are micro caps. We have Pigeon here at a $1.9 million market cap, and we have Elvis here up 81% today to a $1.7 million market cap. What do you guys think? Have you guys heard of Pythia? Did you guys make any money off of it? Have you guys seen Pigeon and Elvis? And welcome into a Tuesday day live stream. Happy to have you guys in here. Good morning, Steven. Good morning, C90. What's good, David? How's it going, MK? Always the ones you don't touch. What's good, Beagle? I agree with you. It just so happens to be that these coins have siblings in their ecosystem and are in fact pushing like crazy. If we go to Neri.ai, the website for Pythia, you will see that they are enabling some sort of thing called BCI. So they're trying to get brain-computer interfaces going in a series of animals. It's kind of a meme coin. It's a little bit confusing. It's not stopping the market from pumping the crap out of them. If you go look, they have Elvis listed on their page here. And if you go to the menu here, or we'll launch the app to be able to actually see it, you can see they have Pigeon, Pythia, and Elvis listed here as the 3 projects that they have going on right now. And so the idea, the theory, the guesswork here would be that as Pythia continues to make crazy new highs, money will eventually rotate into Elvis and Pigeon. And so yesterday I put a little bit of money into both of them, and I am down on Pigeon, up on Elvis. So very interesting. We'll see how everything ends up going on. Again, it seems like more of a meme coin than anything else, but potentially they are working on something here, creating sort of an animal army of cyborgs, or at least collecting data on these animals with the AI interfaces, because these are real things that are happening. Elvis is a real baboon with a real AI linked brain interface in it. I believe, based off their website actually, they have no affiliation with them, but it's not really stopping anything, right? Launched by community on Pump Fund and gifted to the company. It is unaffiliated with us. This is not an offer and investment advice, but it was the same thing as the other two that are here. So we got Pythia here. Let's go to Pythia's website. You'll see the same exact type of story. Welcome to the dawn of Homo sapiens 2.0. I am Pythia, the first AI brain-linked rat, blending biological smarts with AI. I can think, learn, and answer. Step forward to new symbiosis, redefining intelligence. It is a very interesting sci-fi-esque thing that's going on here, and the play would be a sympathy play on Pythia. So hopefully if you guys are rewatching the live stream, you appreciate the rapid synopsis there. I don't know that either of the two will pump the same as Pythia, but who knows? We saw the same thing happen with pump science, right? when we saw RIF really lead the way and Euro was kind of lagging behind the whole time. This one's a little bit more dramatic than that, but you can see the volume is very high. $731,000 in volume. So people are really trying to trade this one right now, at least Elvis. And it's got a long way to go just to even get back to all-time highs. Given the fact that the market right now is in a perfect position for this type of behavior, I opened up positions on them. Solana now above $202. The prophecy has been filled, getting back to $200 on Solana for the Pump Science launches. Pump Science launches should be coming on the 29th of this month. And of course, we will talk about them a little bit more. They're building an animal army, WTF. I know, it's kind of wild. What's good, Vibra Finance? Welcome in to the live stream today. Things are looking good in the market, right? We have Bitcoin dominance making the first rebound on the day since it started this massive fall off. I know we have one green candle in this mixture, but honestly, it has been 16 consecutive days of downward momentum on Bitcoin dominance with that one little candle in the middle of it. Ultimately, it's been nothing but straight down for dominance. So getting a little sigh or a little bounce here is a normal thing for the market. We see Ethereum having a little bit of a pullback, but if you look at the candle on the daily, it's really not. If it were to close like this, it would be a very bullish looking candle. And same thing going here for Solana. Solana kind of lagging Ethereum with a crazy rip happening right now. I think that we will see Solana push higher, probably closer to 222, 225 before we get any kind of pullbacks on it, especially if we can see Bitcoin here continue with this big green candle on the daily. So if Bitcoin, for example, today could close somewhere above 120,000, I think it would be the start of that next rally for Bitcoin. We zoom in a little bit to the hourly. It has been struggling to break out of this tight range that it's been in, but it will eventually break. I think all of us can understand that, and we'll see which way it ends up going. Obviously, everyone's got bias to the upside for Bitcoin right now, and I think that is a safe bet to make. If we go over to the total crypto market cap, you can actually come in and see that the total crypto market cap is verging breaking out to new highs on this leg. It has definitely cooled off a bit and allowed for the RSI to calm down, but we are still continuing to progress higher. And without a reasonable doubt here, we should break out of this circle that we've been in since we entered back here on July 11th. So we've now had 11 days in the circle, and it is time to shoot up to the upper end of the circle. Now we need to convince the real Bill Nye to implant an AI chip in his brain. I know, honestly. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes, you know? Somebody reach out to Bill, ask him if he's down for Neuralink. I think we just saw the 9th patient get Neuralink here over the weekend, so things are looking pretty good for risk-on assets right now. Yeah, it's been crazy time in the market, absolutely crazy. Another thing that I wanted to bring up to you guys is, let's duplicate this chart again so that we can get tons of charts opening right now. We'll open PJN on this thing so that we have Pigeon and Elvis up. It's up 17% on the last 24 hours, but it's been very choppy for Pigeon. If we come over here and look at SciMark, I have some interesting developments / news to share with you guys about SciMark, sitting at a $46,000 market cap, so very micro cap. We initially started talking about this the day it launched when it was at 10 bucks. Now it's at $850. And I got some interesting announcements from them in a foreign language, of course. So it's not something that I can personally read, but someone in the Discord shared it with us. We got K over in the Discord. Let me make it big so I can actually read his name. Oh yeah, I'm on streamer mode, so it won't show me his actual name right here. But over in the Discord, he brought up, he brought up this from the team with SciMark. So SciMark is the brand equity of SciDAO. However, they just posted a project update on June 24th, so a few days ago. A month ago, and it was this legally binding agreement about what actually SciMark is. and I put it into Gemini to get a translation of it, and it comes down to being in agreement with the tribe in, well, I guess I'll just read part of it rather than butcher any of it, but this contract is an assignment of copyright for Keen Design. The contract is made and entered into by and between this group here and SciDAO. And so this is an agreement for an e-commerce company for the tribe that SciDAO has been working with, where they are gaining information on psychedelics that the tribe has, and in exchange they are helping the tribe with an e-commerce website to get some of their brand equity up, their IP around the rugs that they make and around the merchandise that they have for sale. So it's a very interesting agreement. I talked about it in the video, the interview I did with someone from SciDAO, with Riley from SciDAO. And so apparently that's what SciMark is, what we bought into here and are having a bit of a crazy rally in, is the equity, or the brand equity behind this tribe in South America, I believe. Yeah, the license shall pay a royalty of 20% to the retail price of any product made with the work to the licensor. The payment of royalties in accordance with the sale made, any transfer fee reduced from the payment amount. The payment of royalties will be made each time a product made from the work is sold or at the licensor's discretion. Very interesting. So we found that thing super, super early. No one's really been talking about the fact that this even exists, but that tribe has entered into an agreement to kind of expand their economic footprint a little bit with the help of SciDAO. There we go, Peru. Super, super interesting. I'm just baffled that it exists, to be honest. There are 55 SciMark tokens, and we are probably the sole people responsible for this pump to $46,000 market cap. Yacht party in the Amazon. Let's go. You damn right, yacht party in the Amazon. If we zoom out of just this one brand equity here and we go to the complete list, you'll see that it is the only one left under $100,000 in market cap. So I'm assuming it will double pretty quickly here. And we still have no real movement on these IP tokens, but that is just the current state of the market. We are allowing for Ethereum and Solana and some of the large caps to gain some momentum and to actually have the price pumps that they deserve to have. The idea here is that as a total crypto market cap, we will go to the top of this trend line, which is currently around $5 trillion. So we have a good 40% boost for the crypto market cap right now, 30%, excuse me. Should be interesting. It is a very interesting time to be in the market right now. Yeah, for the most part, that's all I had to talk with you guys about. But I brought up other DeSci news, of course, that we can go through and chat about. I'm curious to see how you guys are feeling about this market. Do you think the excitement and the euphoria is going to last, is going to be maintained? Do you think we're entering into the first period of pullback in this crazy ripper rally that Ethereum and a lot of the altcoins have been going on? We're seeing DeSci be slowly awaken over the last week, where some of the main coins that we talk about consistently, like Sci, like Dynex, like we talk about Quantum Bio a bit here, Riff, Euro, a lot of these coins that we talk about consistently are starting to make moves from the lows here. So it is pretty interesting. I will say, if we go over to the Pump Science watch list, we're seeing Gaussy, Art, and EGS make little bits of moves here. I think earlier today they were up like 50 to 80%, but I guess the 24-hour rolling period is starting to catch up to it. So you go back to this dump and we're up 90% from the lows just 4 or 5 days ago on EGS. And all of those three are looking the exact same. Sponsored by H2O. Hit that like button. You're damn right, MK. Hit that like button. Remind me to take a sip of the water. Delicious. Sponsored? No, but it should be. Make sure you guys stay hydrated out here. It's weird. It's a crazy environment to see, especially given the crazy sell-off that's been going on with Creator Bid. Despite Tau making good moves in the market. Creator bid suffering here, down 10% on the day again. I will say though, we have now entered back into the range that I was saying we needed to back test before we could make new highs. So initially I thought this would be it and that we wouldn't end up actually getting back into this range that we've had drawn for a little bit. But it turns out the market had different plans and we are in fact back into this range. So as long as we stay above 7 cents, this whole bullish structure and breakout for bid remains intact as far as I see it. I know a lot of people are getting nervous about it, but these market caps being under 100 million, you have to understand how volatile these things will be. And having pullbacks that are 50, 60, 70% are not to be afraid of. We just hit the 50% pullback mark on creator bid. And if you go look at Tau, let's actually pull it up on the main chart here. If you go look at Tau, Tau is lagging behind the likes of ETH and Solana, where it's holding up ready for the liquidation, or not the liquidation, the liquidity rotation into Tau, but it hasn't yet happened. So when it does happen, I think we get a quick pop up to that $600 area before we start hitting any kind of slowdown. And if it's anything like Ethereum was, we're gonna blow straight past my expectations there. We had that slowdown at 3,000 like we talked about. I thought we were going to get the next slowdown at 3,300, but we didn't even end up getting it until $3,700. So things are looking good. I am curious to see the Bitcoin liquidity heat map, the liquidation map for Bitcoin. Let's take a look. Let's go to the 1 week time frame for it. And it looks like we have a lot of Bitcoin liquidity here all the way up to 120,000. You could go a little bit further to get up to 122,000, but it seems like there is a good amount of people that are short Bitcoin right now. I don't really know why you would short this thing, even on a small time frame. It doesn't make sense to short when we're going up like this, but yeah, it looks like Bitcoin is ready for another little squeeze here to get back up to 120 to 122,000, which would be perfect for the chart here. I mean, we're basically at 120,000 right now. So let's zoom in a little to the hourly time frame. Yeah. So if we do get that squeeze up to 122,000, it would likely happen in the next day or two. And that would be on par with the last several legs in Bitcoin. If you zoom out a little bit and go to the last leg up that we had, and I'm going to go back to here for it. We're following basically the same pattern that we did back here. Let's overlay that one so that you guys can see it nice and steady. Let's go ahead and get the bar patterns. Where is that tool? It looks remarkably similar, actually, to this move. And I overlaid it for you guys the other day too, but you can see it right there. So in the next day or two, it does make sense to get a bit of a pump here. You can even push it back to see that we're lagging a little bit here. Like today would be the pump if we were to follow it exactly, but the last one took an extra 3 days before it started moving. So it might not happen until like Wednesday or Thursday, so tomorrow or the next day, to start getting that move to break out. But if we are to continue to follow this same pattern that we did for the first leg up in Bitcoin, it would make sense that the next stop would be in the low $130,000 area for Bitcoin. And that lines up pretty perfectly with the global liquidity, the M2 supply. So I would assume that we will continue to hold with this pattern. If we line it up like this, you can see that we should edge up to the $122,000 area here in the next 2 days, and then likely by the end of the week have broken up and made a pretty clear move up to 130,000, which would likely drag dominance up with it. Hopefully no higher than the 200-day moving average, and hopefully it's just Bitcoin making a quick move and the rest of the alts just kind of like watching for a minute after they just had a crazy breath. They literally just rallied insane amounts. And so it would make sense for them to kind of find new floors at these levels, let the RSI reset, and then things continue to push forward from there. So I think that's probably going to be what happens. We get a bounce in dominance as Bitcoin here by the end of the week rips up to the 130s, or at least the low 120s or the high 120s. And then we'll see everything kind of cool off for a minute with ETH and Solana. They'll probably get a week, maybe 2 weeks of consolidation before Ethereum makes a decisive move up, in my opinion, above 4,000. We'll probably get it to 41, 4,200. And then it's going to have a big battle as people take profits. There's going to be a lot of selling in that area. I think we could switch over to Ethereum actually and see the liquidations for that. Yeah, you can see right here, Ethereum looks like it wants to break up a little bit to go to 3,800, maybe as high as 3,900. But overall, the exchange, the liquidations on the map are indicating that we have a dip coming, and this dip could go all the way down to 3,500, maybe even 3,400, and it really wouldn't change too much. Same thing on this exchange here. Little bit of choppiness, but there's no real clear direction for Ethereum right now, but I would expect some sort of a pullback here as it gets a lot of people taking profits because people just made like insane amounts of money. What's good, Don D? Welcome Wild Africa. David Curry says SciMark is still really, really small. Even though the token price looks big, it's not too late to get in. I completely agree with that sentiment there. Token price is pretty large, but you have to remember there are only 55 of them. And ultimately, the supply doesn't mean anything. All that matters is market cap, and market cap is 46,000, and that just means supply is super, super small. Like I said, there's only 55 of them. So you go in, and for 850 bucks, you can buy like 3% of supply or something crazy like that, 2% of supply. You get a whole one of these SciMarks, and then you just watch as the rest of the market rallies into it. I have no idea where this thing will end up going. No idea. But if we do get some crazy rallies in these BioIPT tokens, which I do believe we will see, then SciMark will probably end up crossing that $1 million threshold. Maybe even higher. I mean, my price targets on the other ones are upwards of 20 to 50 million. Some of them maybe even hitting 100 million this cycle. But SciMark is a little bit of a wild card just because it looks so different. So it might have a bit of a psychological impact on them, on market participants. But time will tell. Time will tell. Delicious. Yeah. I'm assuming I'll start the poll so that people can answer without having to give themselves up. But did you make money on Pythia? There we go. Starting the poll. I got to click no on it. Unfortunately, I don't believe I made much money on it at all. I don't think anyone was really paying too close of attention to it. But the market has given us 2 more potential opportunities for this sucker. And we'll see if it lives up to its name. But I think it will. I think that both of these are going to get some sort of sympathy pump, considering they're both under $2 million market caps. And it would just make sense for them to rally after Pythia is kind of chilling out a little bit. Yeah, 100% of you guys saying no. I don't blame you. I get it. I think there's only a handful of people that were paying close enough attention to get into that thing. Plus, it just looked like a pure meme. Like, why Pythia pump instead of like DeSci AI? $51,000 market cap. Looks like the same type of thing, right? A little bit of a meme. Starting to come back to life though. So potentially some of these projects, like charts that look like this, where they're starting to have breaths of life again, are ones that are pretty interesting for when we get to that pure euphoria stage of the market. Like people, after, let's say, ResearchCoin makes a new all-time high, gets to $2 or something like that, People are going to be looking for the next coin that makes sense, the next DeSci coin that they can get into and be early and get in on a ground floor. And most of the time at that point, nothing really matters aside from the chart, right? And the social presence. And so that's when things like DeSci AI might get a breath into it. I would have hoped that R3D, is it R3D? Yeah. This one wouldn't have rugged, but they did rug. Absolutely. Regardless, it's low-key coming back, which is crazy. Red Genesis deleted their X account from my understanding, but it's a $3.6 thousand market cap. This is not the correct one. Probably just has no volume in this moment. There it is. $21,000 market cap. Yeah, that's it. This is the one. It was going so good until it just wasn't. Even that log chart doesn't help any of it. We were making really solid returns on it when it looked like that, but then they scammed. So no hope on this one coming back, unfortunately, but it doesn't stop market participants, right? It literally looks like it's about to break out a little bit. So we'll see. A lot of these random little baby altcoins are probably going to have some sort of life breathed into them. I just don't have the comfort of holding them like I do to the BioIP tokens, right? And I say that over and over and over again, but it's the truth. Then we go look at stuff like, exactly, Beagle. If Pythia can go to 100 million, so can Bill. Completely agree. That's the minimum. That's the minimum, the goal for Bill. That'd be a $5 bill, and that is the minimum, the goal for it. We're sitting here at 2 cents. Gearing up, got the dashboard ready for the most part. Should be good to go this by the end of this week to align with the Pump Science launches. And then hopefully we can continue on with the marketing pushes, get people talking about Bill again, and get some breath into his chart. I know the volume's been crazy low, and you guys have been asking for some marketing efforts for it. And so that's where I'm starting to pivot my attention to. The dashboard's finishing up, so we should be able to push that here very shortly. And then we can have the marketing push go with it. And that has been what we've been waiting for a while. It's just that we hit several roadblocks with this dashboard. It ended up being a lot more complicated than I think we initially thought going into it. Regardless, Bill is in an extremely good position. Look at this. We got 6,200 holders of Bill's token here. A lot of them super small. You go look at the top traders and there's really none. Almost nobody. The high conviction people, you guys basically, who could end up with giant numbers here, have just not been selling. So we have a lot of good holders in the chart. We got a lot of diehards, which is what you need for a successful project. And so I'm very excited for what's happening with Bill. And I think it's going to be one of the most exciting times, especially for our community of DeSci shillers. Guys, welcome to the live stream. I see we've got 21 concurrent viewers, but only 6 likes. And so if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up on the live stream, it would be graciously appreciated. Rizzo is meme, $18 million market cap. Tesla started shill it. Rizzo. Not to be confused with Creator Bids. Rizzo. Tesla hedgehog mascot. That's crazy. What the hell? Oh my god. How high did that thing go? $300% gains, almost 100 million, right? Just locked some Bill last night. W. Let's go, David. Let's go. I think one of the main goals that needs to happen with Bill is we need to get his bid endorsements up to 1 million. He's sitting at like 580,000 or something. So we need to get his bid endorsements up to 1 million so that he can be on the front page of Creator Bid's website. But aside from that, we're going to get some good organic pushes going here for Bill. It is time. It is definitely time. Market conditions are perfect, and I'm going to need everyone's assistance for this. We're all going to have to play a role in this thing. It's a community-led, community-based project. I know that's the a hot word for everything that goes on in crypto, but it's the truth. You guys are the people behind it. So crazy. The downfall of these two curated launches. It's wild to me that people just dump the hell out of these two. But hey, opportunity, right? It's just because Bid's having a tough time right now. But the good part about Bill is he's not having that same kind of downward momentum as the other creator bid agents. So the only thing that angers me is it's always the Sol plays that pump the hardest. I know, because Sol is full of degens who will just jump straight into things even if they're already up 500% in a week. Whereas the rest of the market is full of level-headed individuals who will take a step back and be like, let me wait a moment for the dip. And then it just plays out like normal markets. Solana's full of those crazy pump and dumps where it just goes straight up and then straight back down. What about X posts will visuals for Bill? What do you mean? You want like little photos and videos of Bill going up on his X posts instead of mostly just text? I can, absolutely, but it just takes time. It just takes time because then I have to build out more of that integration for him, you know? So right now it's just been 100% focused on getting the tool out to the public. And then we can start opening the door to the next type of advancements for Bill. And so if we want to make his posting better, that is something that absolutely should probably be the next priority for him. I gotta crack my back here. Ugh. Spine down, please. Please. Okay. Now, pulled up Pigeon, pulled up Elvis, pulled up Pythia, even though it's just Neary. Then we also have the SEC chair, Paul Atkins, saying that Ethereum is not a security, helping with the bullish rally that's been happening with Ethereum. Absolutely gorgeous. We're also seeing people like BlackRock attempt to get staking natively integrated into the Ethereum ETFs. Also super bullish. Let's go. If they can get that through, that means people can have access to Ethereum in their 401ks, in their IRAs, and get that dividend yield. Even though it's not dividend, it's staking yield, but it acts like a dividend yield for them. It's honestly better than a dividend yield because dividend yields, you have that X dividend date where they literally, the value of your bag in whatever stock you're getting a dividend in goes down by the exact same amount of the dividend. So it is a forced sell, right? It is very much similar to staking where they're diluting the supply of the coin. Every time you get a dividend, they're diluting the supply of that stock that you own. But in Ethereum, when you get that yield from the stake, your Ethereum bag does not drop by the same amount that the dividend is, that staking yield is. But in a dividend stock, every time you have that X dividend date, the value of the bag that you have, the position that you have in that company drops by the exact amount that you get in dividends. So it's very different, but also kind of similar. And so that would just be really cool. And then you see here on the bottom here, private market access in 401ks. That's wild. SEC Chairman Atkins on potential executive orders. That would be nuts if they gain access to private markets in people's 401ks so you could start buying OpenAI in your 401k. That would be insane. Insane. The degeneracy. I also saw the other day that they were going to remove the PTD limitation, the pattern day trading or PDT rule on day traders accounts. So right now you need $25,000 in a stock market account in order to day trade more than 3 times in a week. And they were talking about lowering that to $2,000, which is nuts. That would be crazy. The amount of people that would start day trading on the regular with very small, like $2,000 or $3,000 accounts would be nuts. A lot of people are going to end up losing money. Ethereum here trying to break out after touching the 100-day moving average, just like it did back here. Same setup, actually. Oh. Same setup. We had a pump, a second pump, come down, touch the 100-day moving average, pump, second pump, come down, touch the 100-day moving average, and then blast off, and then hopefully blast off. All right, for the poll, we had one viewer, 12 votes, one viewer made money off of Pythia. Let's go, baby. Let's go. There's always someone. Always someone. So, Ethereum, BTC, having the first little stagnation period like we talked about, right around the same time that we talked about it. However, significantly higher than where we thought it was going to happen, right? Significantly higher. I think it, based off this drawing, it's going to have another leg up soon and then a big pullback. But ultimately, this is way stronger than I think anyone expected this bounce to be. But I know I'm just reiterating the same rhetoric that you hear on X at this point. So do you guys have any good questions? Anything you really want to talk about? Anything that's really nagging at you? I guess it would be good to go back into what we started this live stream on, which was just the Pythia and Pigeon and Elvis coins. Pythia having gone from a $10 million market cap up to a $100 million market cap in like 2 weeks. And Pigeon here being in the exact same ecosystem, same exact creators and everything, makes sense for this to get a sympathy pump here from 2 million, potentially upwards of the same market cap. Who knows? But things are really cooking right now. It is not 100% risk on like we've been waiting for, but it is absolutely door open wide at this point. We're just waiting for the market to finish up whatever it's doing here with the pump. Can you make it so that when you open base scan or wallet, Bill's profile picture is shown? Potentially, yeah. I'll look into it more, Beagle. I will look into it. But if you go to Uniswap wallet, it's shown there. You can go look on Uniswap and it'll be there. But you have to pay a lot of money to get listed on those things. And so absolutely can. But again, my focus right now has been on very two clear objectives. Get the dashboard out and start pushing the marketing rounds for it. And so everything outside of that's going to take time away from those other two objectives. So I can go focus on the other things, but it's just going to take time away from stuff. Thoughts on Well? I've not looked at the Well chart in many, many days here, but it's up 0.33%. Let's go. $2.3 million market cap. It looks like it is trying to show that that was the bottom, just like it did back here. Maybe it is. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But if you look here, it's yet to really break out. You could make an argument that it's breaking out right here, but until we see a clear, decisive move upwards, it's not had a clear breakout yet. You know, we want to see something like this where it pumps hard and then kind of cools off a little bit and then starts pumping again. That would be the most, like the best case scenario here is a quick pump. And then in the first pullback, you get in if you're not in. But the chart as of now is still not done bleeding. With that being said though, I do really think that their team is sound and solid, but I've thought that the whole time and it has not stopped it from going from 14 cents down to 0.3 of a cent. What's good, Dr. Crypto? Welcome. We have Bio Protocol here talking about DMT therapies, rare disease drug repurposing. So obviously they are talking about side out here, and rare disease DAO here, or end rare disease, sorry, cures. I want to see what they're talking about when it comes to Long COVID Labs was awarded a $22,000 grant. Cerebrum DAO hosted a live stream discussing their SK channel project. Nootropics DAO launched a small-scale Alzheimer's trial and is nearing completion of a large-scale study to factorially assess single and multi-compound formulations on IQ. Pump Science are launching 17 new compounds on July 29th. Definitely need to look at that. And that's crazy that that's the first time I think we've gotten clear confirmation that the 17 new compounds are coming on the 29th. Prior to this, which is in 7 days, so this time next week, prior to this, we had actually only seen that something was going to happen, and we'd gotten inclinations that it was going to end up being the open access of launching the compounds, but now we've got confirmation there that the 17 new compounds are in fact coming on July 29th, which is exciting. We have SciDAO proposed the funding University of Florida research on DMT regulation in the brain. If you go to SciDAO, you'll actually see, that's not what I wanted to go to. If you go to SciDAO, you can actually see them talking about their DMT spray, it looked like. Something like that. They posted a picture. Inner DMT peptide spray. Put it in your brain. That's crazy. Inner DMT peptide spray. So we have no idea what the bottle is going to look like. This one makes more sense than this one. This one looks like cologne or deodorant. This one looks like a nasal spray. I kind of want to quote tweet it, but I will wait. Then we have Valley DAO here with their flow updates. Quantum Bio DAO, screening platform for magnetosensitivity in bacterial plates. We have Cryo DAO, AI-driven cryo repository, and Spine DAO, participating in Mario Nafal's roundtable panel to discuss how they're using blockchain and AI to securely share medical data and develop tools like Lamina, Filter, and Kronos for improved spine care. Amazing. Thoughts on BID. I gave my thoughts on BID a few moments ago, but I will do it again. Here I see that... No, never mind. I'm still wildly bullish on CreatorBid. I think that nothing fundamentally has changed. They're continuing to progress and show good momentum in the attention-based economy. People are walking away a little bit right now because of this dip, but I don't think that really signifies anything. Their long-term potential to be a major disruptor in AI agent ecosystems is still there, and the chart is doing exactly what we expected it to. It's in this nice clear range here that we have. We've had this for a long time, since before they even broke out here. We've had this bar going, and so we broke out, came down, we're retesting this range. I think we build out a floor somewhere above 7 cents, and as long as we maintain above 7 cents, I think that we're gearing up for the next leg higher. Initially, I thought this would end up being the floor, and then that leg got me really excited that it was happening, but we sold off. So you're good, Dr. Crypto. I don't mind going over things multiple times because I already ran out of things to talk about, and I was going to end up wrapping up a little bit early on today's live stream so I could get back to the vibe coding session going on to finish up Bill's dashboard here. But I like spending time here live with you guys talking about the current state of the market every Monday through Friday that I am here at my desk, my little trading terminal, even though I don't do too much trading, more so just investing, but that's okay. That's right. We'll call it the trading terminal. HODL. Exactly. Grokbox. The hell? That's cool. Did you guys see the other vending machine story for the other AI that they put into it and how it like ended up giving stuff away for free, or if you asked it for an employee discount, it would just give you the employee discount? I'm curious to see how Grok ended up doing with it, because the other one, I forget who it was from, but ended up failing. We have more people attempting to use CZ here as a reason to pump DeSci. The two things that excite CZ, as we know, are AI and DeSci, and of course, his Giggle Academy. He loves Giggle Academy. Well, that's a dark story here, Andreas. It's just weed, they say. Tell that to my uncle who developed schizophrenia from teenage use. Ooh, scary. Scary indeed. Deepin plays. I've not really been paying any attention to Deepin at all, actually. I guess technically you could think of Pythia as Deepin. To some extent, it kind of is Deepin, but it is very different from regular Deepin. Yeah. I personally have my sights set for this time next week with the pump science launches. I don't know how they're going to go, but if the market continues to do well, which I think we all can agree it likely will continue to perform nicely like this, then the launches next week for pump science are going to be very interesting to pay attention to. So I would have your Solana ready to partake in them. I believe none of the pre-sales that previously had happened are going to stay true. Like they're refunded all of them to my understanding. And so get your Solana ready for these launches because they should be fair launches like we saw with Riff and Euro. So they should go pretty nicely. We'll see obviously the ending results for them, but if the market's continuing to push higher, then these launches should be very fruitful to bring in eyes to the DeSci space once again. It's been a very long time since we've seen pump science compounds go crazy, but I imagine we'll get a run up into it this week and then we'll get some good crazy launches, at least stuff for people to talk about again. Will it be stealth launch? I believe they're going to live stream the launch of the compounds, but the data, like the running of the trials. So I believe they're going to have a like long scale live stream going or something happening with the data. And so I don't think they're going to be stealth launches. I think they're going to hype them up quite a bit. They've already tried to start it up a bit. And yeah, I'll try and get more clarity on the actual breakdown of how the launches are going to go here, at least by the end of this weekend, so that next week we can be ready for them. And then I'll report back Monday at the latest on how everything's going to go. How many they launch? Well, there's 17 compounds ready to go. So there's going to be 17. I think they're doing all of them at the same time, which could get pretty diluted, but it's going to be interesting because the goal here is to get everyone excited about the science. My hair was tickling my neck, so I got a little sidetracked for it. The goal is to get everyone interested in the science and to, again, go, like once we've seen some of the science be conducted for them, whatever one ends up dethroning Riff here on the worm trials is going to have a crazy rally, right? And then you can go see the health points here. And so right now, Art is in the lead for health points as it goes into the Flies trial. It's advancing onto the Flies trial as we speak, and they are in the lead. And so they also have $104,000 worth of the token burnt, which is very large part of it, a very large part of it. And so that one I imagine is going to have the most exciting rally. And then we also have EGC sitting in third place for the health points, but the smallest of market caps out of all of them. Euro doing good. Riff probably going to get dethroned. Excuse me. Oh, 14 seconds ago, we have Art and Bio's lead drug candidate just took a major step forward in clinical reality for Vita RNA. New drop from the front lines of aging science. Well, this was June 26th, so they're just pushing it out there again. This data drop was from a while ago. But all right, guys, your time is your most valuable asset. Hopefully this was worth investing it into. I'm going to give you guys the rest of your day back here, and I will see you all same time, same place tomorrow with some more DeSci news. Hopefully we have some exciting activities that take place from now until tomorrow so that we can have an exciting live stream. But regardless, we will be here, rain or shine. Does Molecule launch their own native token? No, they do not. Molecule likely will not ever launch their native token, but maybe one day it does. Bio's got a token, the Bio IP tokens are there, and the Bio DAOs all have IP tokens. The Bio DAOs use Molecule to launch the IP tokens. So there likely won't be a native Molecule token, but these are the Molecule tokens. All right, guys, I'll see you